Alright, let's see if this still works. Probably the music is a bit loud. Maybe about there. Oh, it's been a long time. We're finally back and ready to watch some more. Watch some more Season 1 chess. Oh, sorry, what am I talking about? Season 43, Round 1 chess. Alright, so, this is the first time we're streaming for this season, which feels like the first time this year, but it's a lie. And this is round 1. We're sitting in Saturday right now. So the bulk of our games normally happens on the weekend, and today I think will be no exception. And I think we're gonna be trying to catch quite a lot of games. So there's a few that have already started, and there's a few more that are about to start, including one of my own teammates' games. So we're gonna be having a look and seeing what's going on. Please let me know if the music is too loud, or if you can't hear me very well, or anything else. I've mixed up the settings a little bit and I might have broken it. You never know. But at least it looks like my mic is picking up something. Maybe my wife is picking up something as well. We'll see. Alright, so we've got a few games that have already started, and I think we're going to start there and just going to get a feel for what's been going on with those. And from the look of it, I think these two. So this is FailImprove versus Bad Player 35, and these guys are playing for all moves and blunders and actions with pawn sequences, and we will look at the standings again another day. For now, I think we're just going to focus on the games. And in this game, let's see, FailImprove, E4, D45, alright, so just QGD kind of stuff. Alright, White's playing into a Catalan, I like. Okay, this is a fun line as well, Bishop B4 check. Block with the bishop and E7. Okay, you don't see this very often. Normally you see someone just kind of taking, but you can also just put the bishop back. That's a perfectly normal line as well, right? That's perfectly normal. Alright, so the point of that obviously is that White probably doesn't want their bishop exactly on this square, so you kind of misplace White's dark square bishop slightly. Alright, so castle, c6. So this is now just turning into a Catalan versus, well, a close Catalan, I guess, versus the semi-Slav. b7. Okay, this I think is maybe a little bit, it's probably still fine, but I think you're supposed to try and keep this diagonal closed. b3. Okay, out comes this bishop. After e4, normally this is a bit frustrating because it can hit the rook, but the e-pawn hasn't moved yet, so it doesn't matter. Alright, jumping the knights around, opening up the c-file. It's not always a good idea with your queen sitting there, but black hasn't developed everything, so it's still okay. Knight out, bishop back, defending. Yeah, queen's got to move for sure. So I'm trying to squeeze through this to see how we got to this situation now, because I can see that white's actually really low. Alright, pushing the pawns on the queen's side, more pressure in the middle, defended it. Okay, here you can take once to open up the A file. You can also just defend. Very nice. Okay, I've been in a similar position before and I really hate this. This diagonal gets kind of weak. Black can take advantage of it. Okay, very nice trick you can't take because the bishop hangs. Okay. Yeah, okay, pushes the queen out, gets the other rook over. Black decides to open the middle. Okay. Trading. Now black's got 2 isolated pawns versus white's 1. Who's better in this situation? I would say black's a little bit more active at least, though. This, I don't know, this guy's not doing much just yet. This knight's also probably wanting to improve a bit. Alright, hit the queen. Hit the rook. Alright, here comes the knight. Okay, things are looking a bit better. Oh, and this is where we are. Oh wow, okay. So this is actually already where they're sitting. Tanner, black is an FM, by the way. Oh wow, I didn't know that. Bad Player 35? Oh, hang on. But I think Bad Player 35 is actually one of the highest rated players in our league this season. So here I'm just opening up their profile quickly. Can't see much. I also can't read that. They look like they have a YouTube channel and they're a member of Earth. Pretty popular place from what I understand. Yeah, they're clearly incredibly strong, so I can understand how white be under some pressure here, playing as the as the underdog in this situation. Oh my goodness, and they just hung a rook. I wonder if this was the plan. How long has that rook been hanging? Here. Okay, this rook has been hanging since this move. Did they just forget this? Was there something else missing maybe? Nothing else is currently hanging. Oh, I wonder if white just maybe blundered this. That's very unfortunate. That's real tough. Okay, but we have caught up, so I'm quickly going to look at the other game that started a while back, so we can just catch up there. Okay, Gigantaure versus OrpheusWasALyre. Gigantaure, we know, we covered them last season as well, or a previous season, or in December last year. I'm not so sure about OrpheusWasALyre. I like lyre like this. I believe that's an instrument actually. Let's quickly have a look. Lyre. Yeah, that's an old school instrument from like, I don't know, Dungeons and Dragons kind of games if you're playing like a bard or something. Anyway, okay, c4, 5, okay, a little English action of sorts here. Okay, looks like it might transpose a little bit. Oh, okay, interesting. And this kind of setup over here might be turning into a reverse London. No, wait, sorry, what am I saying? The pawns need to be this way for a reverse London. This is different. Okay. Pretty good. Everyone's developing a little bit passive. No one's really getting any tension on the board yet. Okay, this jump opens up. You can take, but I don't know if that's what you want to do. Are you trying to push e4? Are you trying to jump a knight in maybe? Gets the queen off. Does dump a knight in. Okay. Pushes the bishop around. Okay, and black is clearly a little bit ahead here in terms of just having their queen off the back and all their minor pieces forward. Black still got two of those pieces sitting on... white still got two of those pieces sitting on the back rank. Take. Pushes the... oh, and this is where we are. Okay, wow. So this game has progressed even less. Maybe they started a little bit later than the other one. But there's still a significant amount of chess to play here, so this is pretty good. In this case, I wonder what black's thinking to do. Do they have some kind of... well, they can take the knight, I guess, if they would want to. But I doubt they want to. So they're probably looking for what to do with their dark square bishop. I mean, putting it back on a7 seems pretty natural. I guess here is also fine, but I don't know if you really want to put it in front of your pawn. But we'll see. And I'm going to turn off the sound for these guys so we can just keep it all together. Hey Fabi, good to see you again as always. Very happy you've made the stream. It's the first time for me to be back on stream since... feels like a really long time, but it actually hasn't been like super long. Anyway, it feels really long though, so I'm really glad to be back. And good to see you here as always as well. Today the light seems to be either too strong or not strong enough, and I can't quite figure out what I'm doing wrong, but it just doesn't look under the spotlight. It just doesn't seem to want to like work with me on this. I don't know what I'm doing here. It's mostly just incredibly frustrating. Alright, we're just going to leave it on the corner. It's not that important. Alright, hundreds. I'm going to put this one on silent as well, although it's almost finished, right? So fail, worse here for sure, but at least I don't see anything concrete for black. Yeah, so they dropped the exchange, and in came the light square bishop. Knight jumps to that square that it's really wanted all the time. Okay, and black's just trying to push forward. So I'm not going to try and read black's mind here, but being up an exchange, some like kind of easy things, they obviously need to protect that pawn. They probably also want to get some lift for their king, so at some point they want to move one of these maybe. Right now, maybe I guess the H pawn moving feels the safest, because over here there's also this potential situation happening. Yeah, you can't... oh, sorry, you can't go here because it actually you can sack for mate anyway. Oh, but the bishop's also covering it. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe black's just gonna try and worm their way in here. Because they can drop that pawn if it turns into mate, right? Here would be mate. King could run here. They could still get him like this, and then something else, or this and here again. I'm not so sure, actually. Very dangerous situation for them, though. All these open squares around their king, right? Scary stuff, I would say. Okay. I'm going to get the other games opened up so we can just know what's going on. Yeah, okay, back there. I think that's safe. Alright, let's see. These are the two that already started. Here we go. And where's my teammate? Here. Oh my goodness, there's 5 more games. Okay, this is gonna get intense. I'm gonna open up all of these and we're gonna look at them slowly, slowly, slowly. This is gonna be quite a run around, so let's try and keep it moving. I'm just gonna turn off the sound for all of them because otherwise it gets very confusing. We don't know where something is happening. So let's just do this. And we will just add our own... Oops, sorry. Let's keep the language to English. I'd be very lost if it wasn't. Okay, here we go. Alright, from the start. Okay, we've got... Oh, ssyx versus oxnateri. Okay. I know ssyx. I'm not sure who white is. Oxnateri. I do know we've got quite a few new players in the league as well. As always, which is really nice. Really good. Oh my goodness. Okay. Can anyone tell me if this is an actual opening name? Because that's very interesting. Like a reverse King's Gambit against what looks like a potential, I don't know what, Bishop c4 on move 2 is. Take the pawn, Queen attacks everything. Oh my goodness. This is serious stuff. And there's obviously, there could have been like a little check here if you want to get really sneaky. Oh, this is dangerous. Okay, looks like it's just kind of fizzling a tiny bit. Okay, we just got here. Alright, so this game has been pretty intense very quickly. I'm guessing this is just the easy move, and then, yeah, and then white can castle, and they'll kind of be okay. Black's got a clear advantage in the middle with these pawns. And now it's on white squares already, but this bishop is going to cause some problems. Well, I don't think I've ever seen this. I mean, I don't really see bishop c4 move to either, to be honest, but I haven't played against e4 without a Sicilian in a very long time. f5, amazing. Okay, but it looks like white kind of knew what was going on because they just said, yeah, cool, I'll take it, and I'll jump here, defend, back. Maybe they know what they're doing. Maybe this is theory after all, right? You never know. It's probably some counter gambit. Yeah, I guess so, right? This is probably some kind of counter gambit, I guess. Very spicy though, very interesting stuff. But I'm guessing now most of the fireworks are gone for a second, and white can castle, and black will probably want to bring out their last pair bishop and castle as well. But then this advanced pawn and the open f-file might actually give black quite a lot of play against the king, which could be fun for them. They're also obviously kind of leading in develop now, right? So they've got their king out, they've got a knight out, and they've got 2 pawns out, and it's their move. And the only thing white's got out is their light square bishop, and the fact that they can castle their king. So, well, I think very dangerous. Probably bishop over to c5 is really nice just to get direct pressure up on that pawn in the corner as well. I can't imagine that's bad. Although I think with here you might fall into something like this. Obviously you attack the queen and you attack the bishop at the same time, so maybe that's not a great move, unfortunately. Oh, very interesting. Okay. BC4 is remember, mostly transposed in Italian or Vienna type games. Yeah, I would guess so, right? So I mean, bishop c4 is just normally bring the knight first, but now I bring the bishop, and because of this, I guess this is why f5 makes a bit more sense, because if you put your knight out here, you're already attacking the pawn, right? So at that point, it feels like it matters a little bit less. But you could kind of transpose to the same position anyway, I guess. The way that the game went, right? Okay. Alright, so we've got an idea what's going on here. A spicy kind of counter gambit by ssyx, very cool. Chessdad versus Klavier. Oh, I don't know if anyone else would... I don't know how you guys would read this, but this is piano in Afrikaans and maybe in Dutch. I'm actually not sure what the Dutch word is for piano, but I'm guessing it's the same as Afrikaans, which is my mother tongue, so Klavier 88. Piano 88. Alright, and Dr. Chessdad is white, d45. Alright, looks like it might be a London. Okay. Yeah, bishop comes out straight away, probably going to push back. Yeah, okay. Alright, very standard. Oh, b6 I think is slightly less standard. What's the point here maybe that you want to open up a c5 in a second? Okay, yep, there goes c5. Alright, and white says, well, fair enough, you're not going to take it. I'll just take the spot already, and black gets there. light square bishop fianchettoed, which is always good. Alright, bishop out. Oh, interesting, an f5. Alright, this is a structure that is not fun to play with or play against. This kind of blocked off situation. Actually, now this feels a little bit more like a collie almost, because you've got this kind of pawn structure and you've got the bishops going out, and you're going to try and get your f-file action. It's actually very, very aggressive play by white, although it starts off, the collie normally starts off quite kind of passive. You're just building up some pressure, but it's not released because you're actually not moving your pieces that far out onto the board at the start, right? I really don't understand what to do with this light today. Maybe I've made some mistake somewhere along the way. There we go. That seems a bit better. Maybe that's better. Maybe that's worse. Hard to tell. Alright. Anyway, and this is where the game is. Okay, and black says, no way I'm taking, because that obviously not only forks two pieces, but the structure is just really nice for white. Just everything happening on the king side, and black has got very, very slow counterplay. So I definitely agree with that. Alright, let's keep moving. Let's keep going on. Next time we're looking at is ribrubrib. I don't know ribrubrib, and osumarko, I'm also not sure who they are. Let's have a look. So there's also a d4 game in d6. Okay, interesting. Okay, and they transpose a little bit. Okay, so black's basically just playing into a King's Indian defense, I guess. White putting their light square bishop on the fianchetto diagonal. Don't know if that helps too much. Kind of like just biting into that file. Maybe it's just trying to keep the other light square bishop from getting there. Alright, c5, e5, takes with the knight. That is a pawn that's hanging. Okay, it could be that you want to push out the rook and try something fancy, but I think maybe black unfortunately just dropped a pawn there by accident. Okay, brings the knight back. Oh, this shouldn't be too much problem. White's up a pawn, so they could either move. Well, actually, I guess it's basically that. They can move or they can defend in a very strange way. But yeah, you could move and take with your rook, which isn't too bad, right? So here, and then you still got this file. Pretty nice. The only thing that you're going to have to do as black is you're going to have to, white, you're going to have to move your rook off of this diagonal. It's going to get a little bit tricky for you along the way. Okay, but a fair image of what's happening in this game as well. Not too tricky. Not too hard to figure out, at least the opening side of it. Here we go. This is my teammate. So Val, this is white in this game. Val's playing Jaybird. Go Val. Omertil is here. 1950 seems a bit low for Val. Let's hope that my teammate is slightly underrated. You never know. Alright, so open with d4, knight f6. Oh, hello. Is this called the Trompowski? I keep forgetting the names for openings nowadays. Okay, yeah, it's the Trompowski, thank goodness. Okay, so Trompowski, and I think there's a few moves that you can play as black in this situation. Okay, you just go for a standard one. Okay, and white says, fair enough, I'll mess your pawn structure up a bit. This is still perfectly fine for black as far as I know. You can put your bishop here, you can castle, eventually you can play this up and here, and you can have like a really aggressive kind of pawn structure around your king. Oh, can you just play e5 straight away, I guess. Okay, and counter gambit in the middle. All pawns are taking all the pawns. And black says, no worries, you can take them where you want. And black's obviously hoping for this to kind of fix their double pawns. If you take here, they can just take back, and it's also not the biggest deal. Alright, oh, interesting. You would expect them to take this way, but I guess the pressure on d5 is a bit uncomfortable. So pushes the knight out of the way instead. Alright, Val, now you've got to see what you want to do. You've kind of dissed the pawn off. Let's hope there's a good reason for that. I'm guessing the point is that you're trying to do this and then take. Did you actually just win a... Oh my goodness. Did white just win a piece here? This check, you can block it with a pawn, or with a bishop, or with a queen. Or you can put your knight back in there and take. I think this is actually really good for my teammate. Come on! Let's hope so. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Val played this against me last season. Oh no, really? But I think this time we got a better... Okay, cool. I mean, I know Val from kind of like they, I don't even know if it's a guy, apologies. They've watched some of the stream, and obviously you see them around Slack as well, but I actually don't really know them very well. In terms of kind of what they play, I don't remember seeing many of the games before, and I haven't played them myself as far as I know. I think. Let's actually check. Have I played well before? Your score. Oh, okay. I have played them once and I won. Didn't know. Alright, that's good news for me, I guess. Although they are on a higher rated board than me. Alright, don't use all your time. If you're clearly winning a piece here, just take it, right? What do you... Here, check. What could you possibly waiting for here? So here and then check, and then what? If they do this, you can take and it's still check, and you have the same thing. This doesn't help. Oh, I see the problem. I'm such an idiot. This does help because unfortunately you can just go back. Oh, I was so excited to just win a piece and be done with it. Okay, so I guess the point is it worth it or not? I guess if you go here and they block, they're probably going to take back with their knight, in which case you can then take with your bishop and get the pawn. There's obviously this check in the side here as well, so let's calculate a little bit here, 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 take back here, going for it. Val, going for it. Maybe Val is going for it. Take back. And after they take back with the knight, they've got this kind of jump over here, which isn't the end of the world, but you could end up with some isolated pawn situations, which isn't great. So here, here, and if you go this way, then they can double your pawn. Well, they can isolate your pawns. Still, that's not too bad, right? Yeah, unfortunately your queen can't pin the knight and take the bishop at the same time. Very unfortunate, because that would have been fantastic. Okay, so... I mean, I expected them to take this pawn. That was probably kind of what everyone was expecting. And then take, and take, and take, and take. And if everyone takes, then white ends up with an isolated pawn. Black's got the two isolated pawns, and no one knows. It's a draw. Chess is always a draw, correct? I don't know. Yeah, I was also hallucinating. Hey, sorry, I was probably kind of guiding us towards the hallucination by just kind of being so excited about it, but yeah, it actually doesn't work out, unfortunately. Okay. Oh, okay, they just screw it. I'm just going to protect my pawn there in the middle of the board. I guess, long story short, they can also eventually get e4 in and just kind of solidify this. They're also stopping that pawn from being protected with another one, so you can still potentially take it a bit later. What happens if you do the same thing now? Here, here, take, take, take. Yeah, then your queen's just already... wasn't the point queen a5? Yeah, so Omertal chat is also like, hang on, wasn't the point queen a5 check? What's going on? In that line though, after this pawn moves, I do like the fact that you get rook d1 in. It seems really strong. And you've also got your light square bishop developed, and you can just kind of castle, so... Yeah, I gotta say, I did expect that to be the main move. I didn't think white would just play knight c3 here. Hey, I mean, it's a move. It's a move for sure. We'll have to see. White can get c4 though, and the king will be kind of stuck in the middle without cover. Yeah, I mean, it's not a disaster either way. But that line did just look like it gave white a lot of activity. You know, like black would have these guys developed, and white would have these two developed. And they'd be able to hit the queen, they'd be able to castle immediately. It just seemed kind of good, right? But it's okay. Val decided this is not the way to go, so let's hope that their game continues well. Let's move on a little bit, because there are still some games we haven't even looked at yet. So we have got bufferunderrun, a name that we see around Slack quite a lot as well, and Ciraid, which I don't know if I've seen before. Hey, how you doing, Bobby? Yeah, man, that game is pretty interesting as well. I've already just moved on though, because we haven't even looked at all the other games that are going. This is the last one we haven't looked at. So, bufferunderrun is white, it's e4, it's Sicilian, it's an elephant. I like the d5 line. I play this as well, d5, knight out, and then, oh, okay. In this position, normally the line I know is to put the bishop here, and then you're either playing to just kind of win a pawn, or even just kind of put white into a really bad bind if they do like the wrong move or something like that. Okay, well, E6, I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. Is the point that you would just take the queen and then take the pawn? Is the point that you don't want to move your queen? Like you just... Wow, E6 in this position. Hang on. Okay. So black also just said, white just said, yeah, I forgot how this line goes. I'm pretty sure all of us are a bit confused with E6. This is not a main popular line, I think. I don't know. To endgame aficionados, eh? Well, we'll have to see which of these games actually make an endgame. Knight A3, this is totally normal. But this E6 thing is just, for me, very strange. Knight F6, and here comes the knight. Yeah, you're hitting that backward square. You have to take the knight back. Okay, and here we go again. Yeah, I can't say I like E6. I'm still not exactly sure what the point of that move is in this position. You open up your dark square bishop so it can take back. Is that really it? Okay. Yeah, I think white's moves are pretty standard. This is a nice one to put some pressure to try and win the rook over here. I'm not sure what you do in that position. It's kind of tough. This looks really strong. How does black avoid just being in a kind of not great situation after bishop f4? Tough stuff, eh? Knight a3 yesterday. Oh, very nice. In good. Alabin Smith Mora. You're combining too many options there. You can play the Alabin or play the Smith Mora. Don't play an Alabin Smith Mora. That's too confusing. I can't follow that. Oh, just the standard block, eh? Man, I mean, I play the Catalan, and this is such a standard way to block the diagonal. I still didn't see it immediately. I have to wake up, although it's already 11:30, so maybe I should not wake up. Red legs and goes back to d4, but it's quite impossible at mixing up the lines. Indeed, there is a lot of mix-up here, but it does look quite fun. I quite like the Alapin from the black side, to be honest. It's kind of a fun opening. I think it creates quite an interesting game normally, especially the lines that I've kind of forgotten already, but I used to enjoy those quite a lot. Okay, I do believe that we've got one game that's actually already finished. I'm guessing. Yeah. This game, FailImprove, was already under immense pressure. They went down in exchange. They were kind of down on the clock as well, really heavily. And this is kind of where we left off. So, yeah, bishop was coming over, and I thought that black maybe wants some lift, but could also maybe just try and work their queen in. Rook over to hit the pawn. Yeah. They're just coming in, right? Try and change off the bishops. There comes the luft as well, stopping this from being a concern. Takes the pawn, jumps in with the check. And here we go, and I don't think there's many ways to stop this from being mate in this case here. Oh yeah, and this is actually where the game ended. Oh, that's actually, well, that's not too far away from what I was thinking at this point. So at this position, when we saw it last, I did think that black was going to come in here. But I guess because that rook left the back rank. Oh my goodness, that is very unfortunate for FailImprove. Yeah, just the rook leaving just kind of kills it, hey. Let's quickly jump over to the analysis of this one. Taking on an FM, I do not recommend. I cannot recommend. That is tough. Oh wow, and there's a very, very clean win for black as well. You see here white had a little bit of a jump here. At this point apparently there was something. I guess, okay, rook e, you push the e pawn maybe. Oh, that's tough to see as a real advantage. Oh, okay, and where they went wrong was to try and push things around and not just get their rook off the diagonal. Okay. That was a tough one. GG FailImprove though. I think take anyone who takes on bad player in this season is just gonna have to just suck it up, hey. This is a tough one. Barbie, I hope you face them. I think it'll be really fun to watch you guys play. It's an Alipur for some. Oh, I see. We'll see, we'll see. Yeah, man, bad player is ridiculously strong and is board one, or they are board one, so I'm expecting to see a fun game between you and them later on in the season. Please schedule it for this kind of time so it's easy for me to catch as well. That'd be really fun to see. Okay, so we're going to close this game then. I think we've kind of gone, and I'm going to double check here. I've got 6 games. There's already another one. Did someone start their game early? Goodness me. Okay. Alright, well, let's just double check quickly here. This is the game that just started. Oh, we don't even have the second move on the board yet. MN1171, who I don't know, and Manu P73, who I also don't know. Okay, but this just started. We'll come back to this. Let's just go have a look at what the other games have done since we saw them last. So this was the spicy opening where ssyx did was, it looks like a counter gambit. Barbie, actually, if you wanna, bad play, he looks boring. I don't know, man. When you're 2,330 feeder, you probably have to be fairly boring because there's so many end games and kids in there that you had to beat. Alright, so you probably had to just kind of chill out a little bit. Actually, Bobby, I wanted to ask you if you know what this move is called. I've specifically not looked at the opening book to see if what the name is, but could you come up with what this would be called if this was an opening move, specifically in this position? I'm wondering, because I saw they played some retreat variation. Oh, okay. Oh well, the retreat variation is tough. Okay, so in this situation we know up to here. Okay, this is where we were last. We saw that if you play bishop c5 here, you're kind of screwed because you open up the fork option for white. They can hit you with this double attack queen and bishop. But bishop d6 looks pretty safe. Castle, castle, and d4. Very good move. You want to open things up. And you also want to take a little bit of control of the squares over here. And white just gets off. Oh, black just gets off the diagonal. Right. I mean, I gotta say, this does look pretty good for black, though. This diagonal isn't really a concern. Oh, sorry, this diagonal isn't really a concern. They're gonna have to try and find a way to bring the other knight and rook out, but overall looks pretty good for them. Oh, this is actually as far as the game has gone as well. Interesting. I was expecting a few more moves at this point, but I'm obviously incorrect. It's a Latvian. Ah, okay. After knight f3, it's a Latvian. I see. Bishop opening Latvian game, but yeah, seems fine. Yeah, man, I think black's looking absolutely fantastic with this situation. Really, really strong kind of setup they were able to get for themselves. I don't think there's a clear attack just yet. Maybe I'm missing it. But, you know, the pawn structure, the remaining bishop, the clear amount of activity, the open F file, there's a lot of fun things happening here for black. And also kind of in reverse, there's kind of nothing happening for white just yet. Oh, you think someone messed up to make it happen? Yeah, I guess so. I guess it should be a little bit more equal if that wasn't the case. Okay, this might be good for white actually, just to get that last dark square bishop off the board. Let me just get this out. You could also just move the bishop somewhere else for a bit. You can even try this, although I don't think you want to give white this diagonal behind your pawn, so you're probably going to have to trade it. In this case, maybe you want to play here just to triple defend that square, and then you can start bringing out your other knight and make a plan. Let's see. Bishops. Oh, okay, you got it. Bishops opening Calabrese countergambit. Goodness me. That's pretty cool. An Italian region? No way. There aren't really a lot of chess openings named after Japanese or South African areas, so I don't really have a lot of like just silly like recognition points like that. But it's fun if you're in Europe, I guess. Where is it called a counter gambit? Why didn't gambit anything? I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. There is no specific gambit that you're countering, but I don't know. You said counter gambit, and I know that we have like the Alpen counter gambit, kind of not the Alpen, the Albin counter gambit, so that kind of stuff. So the image looked very similar to me, so for me that was very understandable to call it a counter gambit. But you're right. There's no actual gambit that you're countering. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good move for black, actually, just covering up that F4 square very strongly, and then things are good. Yeah. Next to Sicily, noise. Oh, okay, wow, and black actually plays the move I was thinking about. Always nice to be right. I mean, if this game kind of continues and they trade off all the light square, all the minor pieces. So say for instance they jump and they just trade all of this off. The rook ends up there. Then it's knight versus bishop and all the heavy pieces still left. Yeah, I don't really think black wants that though. I think that kind of makes the game slightly more equal. Currently they've got all the space and a lot of the activity, so probably we're not trading off everything. Alright, moving on. Chessdad. Last we were here. Yeah. We saw f4 and then, yeah, correctly. I said this looks a little bit like a collie to me because the two bishops are kind of, well, the dark two bishop is moved, but it was kind of out in this situation. And you got this pawn structure, so if they ever take, not only do you fork pieces, but even if you didn't, you would take with the f pawn and castle and just have like a massive amount of attack on the king side. So very, very serious. Yeah, we'll see. That is an outpost. You mean the position here on e5? I'm guessing, but I'd go g4, h4. Okay, are we still talking about the previous game? Because g4, h4 here, I think we're talking about different stuff. Anyway, we've got f5. They did jump away to avoid trading, which seemed right. Oh, interesting. Just kind of trying to double up some pawns, maybe. This is just so nice for white. Like this whole section of the board is their attacking domain, and black's counter attack just doesn't exist. They have to fight white, I guess. It's pretty crazy. Bishop h4. Knight e. Okay, jumping in. I guess in this case, if you take you're dropping a pawn though. I don't know. Oh no, sorry, you've got defense for it. So here and then maybe do you want to play your own f5 move? Oh, and this is where we are right now. Yeah. Actually, what you could do is here for white, you could take with your knight, and then you could put your pawn, your bishop out on this side. You can't really move the f pawn yet. You probably just want to castle at some point anyway, so maybe you don't have to move anything. Although this may be becoming... Yeah, I'm expecting part of that move is probably to get that done, right? Like you said, g4, h4. This situation... Yeah... g4, h4... I mean, h4 you have to move your bishop again. Do you mean like you take the knight and you just push your pawns? Seems pretty crazy. But maybe that's the way to go. It would definitely be fun to see, man. Just throw the pawns and attack. Dude, haven't we been talking about the same issue recently? I've thrown my pawns as white and attacked way too many times. It's always ended incredibly badly for me, so... I'm not the biggest fan of just throwing the pawns and attacking. It's tough. It's better if it's like at least getting a tempo on something, right? Like it's hitting something and you can move an extra one, but throwing the pawns and attack have... Oh man, it's actually just failed for me so hard so many times in the last, I don't know, call it... Actually, specifically last year, I think actually, but maybe in the last 2 years. It's been pretty rough. Okay, let's have a look at the other game now. We have a lot of games to keep going through, so this one... ribrubrib, okay. This one we saw that they went into a kind of like a kid situation, and I wasn't sure if this bishop needs to be here exactly. Yeah, and then they jumped there, they lost a pawn, and then they jumped their knight out. Yeah, and this is where we left off last. And I said you could probably defend here, but it seems kind of silly. I don't know if that's really a good move. I thought you would actually just drop the bishop back and trade off and be like, hey, I'm up a pawn, fantastic. And then try and make a plan to develop your queen side safely. I think you missed a critical moment already. Yeah, Bobby, actually I think the moves, the games that we've played, that I've played since I've met you, that you've played since you've met me, They didn't include my samish here. That's probably why. I tried really hard to find a solution for the kid as white. And I went through the samish and the Mangaloff or something and a few others. And recently it's just been the Fianchetto, right? Just basically playing the Catalan anyway, because I got really, really frustrated with just always losing. I played the Averbach at some point, and yeah, you know, stuff and things. Okay. White did decide to defend with what looks like a really awkward knight move. Now this knight's done like this, like a little double take and gone back to e5 again. Open up the attack. Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness. And sacks the knight. Oh, okay, sacks the bishop for 2 pawns. That's not bad. Okay, maybe even a rook. Oh my goodness. No, not a rook. Okay, take. Wow, that took quite a turn. Intense. Yeah, I don't think that worked out so well for white, unfortunately. Good try though, very fun. I think this was a bit of a over-enthusiastic way to defend though, unfortunately. Ramboing in there. Second pawn. And take. Unfortunately, yeah, you're just losing too much. Oh, that's pretty rough. Okay, so yeah, that's just like a piece, right? A piece for 3 pawns. Okay, well, like maybe a piece for 3 pawns isn't the end of the world. If white's pretty good with their pawn work, maybe they can find a way to make that. Isn't it 3 pawns? It's 3 pawns now, man. These 3. Yeah, pretty interesting. Way to go. I was really thinking just to play the bishop over and let the queens be traded, but white said hold my beer and decided to sack a few pawns instead. Real fun. Real fun. 2 pieces. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I can't even count. You're correct. Hang on, let me see how I missed this now. Yep. That's the first pawn that went, right? That's fine. Okay, that's the queen. Yeah. Oh my goodness, I see. Yeah. Honestly, it's such a bad continuation. That's real tough. I can't imagine you would lose for 2. Yeah, I know there's a delay. Hey, the only way I could fix it is to end up making the stream kind of lower the buffer amount that it has, which means that there will be more delays as the connection drops and kind of comes back and stupid things like that. Oh wow, and absolutely no mercy from black. Rook d7, just, you know, that's tough. Maybe here you can kind of get a pawn up there, but this is a tough situation. Oh well, you can just take it again as well. Oh my goodness. That is real tough. Okay, osumarko, I don't have too much hope for your position, but give it a go. I need to go check on my teammate, see what happened since. So in this situation, we all expected queen a4 here. And I for a second thought it was winning a piece, but unfortunately this defends it as is classic. So slightly different. Okay, but white decided just knight c3, which very unexpected to be honest. Didn't see it coming at all. Alright, c6 anyway. e4 anyway. And here comes the bishop, putting pressure on the knight as well. Rook opens up some support. Okay, this is where we're sitting now. So, what am I seeing here? White can take back. White can still get knight, queen a4 in this position. I mean, it's still not a bad move. I guess they don't really want to take. It's just not part of the plan, maybe. Oh no. I mean, if you take and they trade, and they probably take back with the knight, then you can take your front pawn. And then, I mean, it's completely equal. White can't castle anymore. But white has a much better pawn structure in terms of this situation, right? Although black can trade it off, I guess. Here. Oh no, there will be a knight over there. Oh, okay. Maybe that line doesn't work quite so good. Cool, man. Thanks for coming past. Hope you're having a good day that side. Be safe. By the time I finish up here, you'll still be going for a long time, I'm sure. So have a good day. The rest of the day, your side. Okay. Oh, good might by black as well. Pressure down the G file. What to do? I mean, you can force this now. Fair enough. You can end up with an isolated pawn here. You can trade queens, but you're still going to have an isolated pawn either way. Trying to see if there's a way to like maybe bring this queen over here. Although obviously here you'll have support for a bishop g4 as well, which just hits down the diagonal. So that's not good. Tricky situation. I really thought this was maybe the move to go for. I'm so surprised they didn't play it back then. Just here. Okay, so I mean we just sacked a pawn. And since then we've just been given a lot of pressure, unfortunately. There's defense here as well, which is good. Also allows your queen to come out. I think this is my move actually, yeah. Knight h4, allowing my queen to come out and pressure this pawn, which obviously also puts some pressure on the king rook. Black can take my mid pawn, and they can obviously also take this knight and then finish the pawn that side, but that's not such a big deal, I think. It's not like the queen can enter anywhere. And actually then I would have the rook and the bishop on this pawn if I want to take it back. Don't even know if I do really. Take here, force the king to move. Get in a castle, get the other rook out. Yeah, I'm liking this actually as the move there. Yeah, okay, they go the other way. Alright, so they decide to put pressure on the pawn. If you take here and I check you block it, I go here, you take, I have to take back, then you take again. Okay, that's actually not too bad. This is actually going to work out pretty okay maybe for white, if that's the kind of the path we go down, if black decides to take the pawn. That could work out okay, couldn't it? Let's see, what else would black want to do? They still have this move we saw, but now there's a very obvious f3, just stopping the bishop, forcing black to react, and then you actually have the same sequence again. Take, or is it take, and then take, or is it check here, then take there? Oh, there's so many options, I'm getting confused. Oh, this was the line was after they take the pawn themselves, so if we take it slightly different. Although you could probably jump over here, which is hitting that pawn as well, which is pretty good. So if you take here and you jump there, you hit the bishop, you hit this pawn. If they take, you can trade off and the pawn's still weak. The king can't defend it, the rook can defend it. I mean, you can also do this fork, so that's a very dangerous spot for white to get a knight into over here. These two squares, hitting the bishop as well. Pretty dangerinos. Okay. Moving along, again. Keep moving along. I think there was a song by... There's a band I was listening to when I was in high school. I made some friends with a family from America, and they introduced me to... I mean, I can literally hear the song. What is the... Tell me what... When I've known it all along. I go around a time or two just to waste my time. All American Rejects. Okay, that's the song I'm thinking of. Move along. Okay, this is the Alapin that's so strange with the e6 early. Okay. Okay, and white decided, screw it, I'm gonna take the pawn. And black actually did not take back, or did not take the queen themselves. They wait for white to take, so they get the king over here to defend the square, I guess. Okay. But now you maybe want to get over here instead. Yeah, indeed. Okay. Oh, and this is as far as the game has gone. Why do I feel everyone's playing so slow this week? I feel like normally there's more moves going at a time. Fabian, I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't see the compensation anymore. Yeah, man, I'm not so sure what the Queen A4 line... I mean, it looked a little bit like dicey, but I do think, just going back to this game, I do think that this opens up some options. I don't think there's any compensation. I'm gonna sneeze. Shit. Sorry. I don't think there's immense compensation maybe anymore, but I don't think white is worse, which is kind of what it felt like for a second. Give me one second. Whoa. What is happening today? It's not allergies, I hope. Oh, they do take the bishop first. Okay, so they take the bishop back, then they take the pawn. Take the pawn, they take. You check. Or you can just take actually as well. I mean, all of this is just kind of gonna get liquidated if that's the case. And then black is still up a pawn, is it? But slightly worse pawn structure. Alright, hang on. Okay, and this move we already caught up to. Gigantaure. This is the other game that started a while back before we actually started streaming. So let's just see where we got to with this one. Oh, yeah. I remember this. Okay, yes. I think we were about... we were about here. I think last time we saw this game. Okay. Yep. It's actually, just taking care of that square. Pretty good square to take care of. Still, black hasn't castled. Quite surprising. I wonder if they're looking at castling queenside. And then they can move this as part of a way to push their pawns forward. But they need to move their king and their knight out of the way. A4, A5. Oh, sorry. It's been a long day. Maybe that is not part of a queenside castling for black anymore. Kingside indeed. Knight back, another knight back, knight d2 move. Just like we saw in Val's game now. Hits that... Oh wait, hang on, this is actually where we were. I feel like this is where we were because I was looking at what could you do. You could jump the knight in, yes, take, here, and then they pushed e3. E3, nope. And they pushed d5. Okay, my bad. I thought there was e3 here after this. Anyway, take. Okay. It looks like I am remembering. Now, okay, and this is where we were. Wow, I'm so wrong. This is the situation we looked at when we were here last. Yeah. Bishop a7. Oh, okay. Dangerous. Oh, okay, here's a little trick here you can take, and then you can fork the queen and the king. So this is a potential to win a pawn and mess up the pawn structure for black. Although, I think you get your knight trapped. Oh, this is also hanging. Yeah, but where do you jump your knight back from there then? I don't think you do. Okay, wow. Never mind. F4, F5. Alright, let's start look. Bishop probably gets traded. Yeah, traded. And takes d3. Oh, and the rooks aren't connected, so bishop b2. Defends the knight, connects the rooks. Queen's still coming in. Very dangerous queen. I wonder if you want to jump your knight over here now. Oh, if you could only really get some... Yeah, if you want to get some action on the... Okay. I mean, I was looking at this, but it didn't look like a good move. What? Did you just hang a piece for nothing? Oh, that's why, because you want to uncover the attack against the queen and the rook same time. Right. Oh, but they have a check. Oh, okay, white screwed up. Very unfortunate. Okay. Continuing to fight though. They're down 2 minor pieces, and for this point this is very tough. Yeah, black's just like, trade me. Okay, hits the rook at the back. Check. Oh. Hits the rook at the back. Check once. Over again. Defends the king. Tries to get some attack going. Oh, okay, but white just resigned. There is unfortunately no attack here. That is very unfortunate. In this situation here, the queen infiltration was just too powerful. But also, admittedly, not moving these guys off the back for so long was probably not the best. You know, you need to get your pieces developed. And it looks like white paid the price for not doing that soon enough. Yeah, that's tough. Tough break. Alright, that does mean that we have a second game done though, so we can quickly check. It looks like black went slightly wrong here. Oh, okay, they were actually just completely crushing if they brought over there. Very unfortunate. This was the move and then white was actually totally still equal. Where would you jump your knight to if they attack it? Oh, you don't. You just take the pawn and uncover the attack against your queen anyway. Very unfortunate stuff. Yeah. Okay. GG. Back to the start of the queue and a quick refresh. 6 games. Six games. Alright. We're good. Alright. Emin Manu. Emin and Manu. Let's have a look. See. Yeah, this game was just getting started as we were in. Okay, interesting. Oh wow, and a very, very disciplined knight f3, which is this not the, what do you call this? I forgot what you call this, the something defense. Martial defense, there we go. And in the martial defense, obviously, everyone wants to play e4 here, but knight f3 is just slightly better because it stops e5 more. But it feels like it doesn't make sense because you could play it anyway, right? So I've kind of forgotten what exactly, but I know that knight f3 is actually the better move, so impressed that they're playing it. Alright, there we go, knight up. h3, I don't normally play h3 myself, but it's a good move, I think, not bad. Yeah, okay, gotta open up to hit the knight, bring up your let's go bishop, castle. One of the things I think that I often made a mistake in this situation is thinking that, oh no, they're going to take my knight, but actually that's fantastic for you. You know, they lose their fianchetto bishop. It's a terrible trade for black, so yeah, I should have been more open to it in the past. I didn't always play the best moves because I was worried that they would trade off a knight that isn't that important. e6, yeah. Oh, okay, this is where you are. Okay. For white in this situation, you can trade some pieces. I mean, there's a nice little kind of like, if you're trying to win some space, f4, and then You can push up here as well, although I'm not sure. I guess what you're actually hoping is that you can land a knight over there. Not so sure if it works. How to do? Trying to see if there's a nice way for white. I mean, they don't really want to trade the queens. I guess they have to take and then just move the queen to c2 after that. Options are limited. You don't really want to lose your pawns in the center, but I don't think you can avoid it at all at this point. No good. No good at all. No good at all. Yeah. Back over. Oh, okay, hang on. Ssyx and Oxnateri with this crazy opening. The counter gambit that wasn't countering any gambit. Alright, okay, we saw this. This is where we were last. Black's taking good care of the f4 square. They're the ones with the space and kind of that attacking potential. White has to try and find a way through. Okay, they jumped their knight. Hello, queen trade. Okay, and you can also retake on the bishop if you want to. You do retake on the bishop, okay. Oh, interesting, I like this play by black. c6 trying to open things up, trying to give their knight the best square possible to go to. Although, I mean, this would have been fine too, I think. I don't think you have to go here. I guess maybe you can try and go this way, but I'm not too sure. Take. Okay, this is where we are now. So here they're going to jump out. You're going to have to move your bishop again. I quite like that play by black. That was a good one. Making space for their knight. They still have the powerful DE pawns in the middle. Looking pretty good. Very, very nice actually, I would say. Very, very, very good. Yeah, you got to take the pawn. There's not much to think about really there. And in this case, I guess you have to decide how much you value your bishop. You can fall it back, but you can also bring out a rook and protect it. And retake with the rook, and then just you have the active rook, and you can also get some pressure on the d5 pawn. In this situation, here, 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 here. And you've got pressure on this pawn, which you probably need. And ideally you probably want to get your queen into d7 to try messing around with the back line. Yo, it has been a long day. It has been a grueling X hours. Nowadays every day just feels tired. Oh, okay, not expecting that. I don't know if I'm a fan of this move. It's not a bad spot for a knight. Obviously, it's a clear outpost, very nice, but the bishop can still push it off, and you've still got this completely inactive rook on the side, which I thought might be nice to bring out instead. You can put pressure on that backwards pawn. I don't know if the knight hits anything from there that you have to care about. Maybe it's just nice to have it there. It's just knight to have it there. Chessian slip of the tongue, apologies. Let's see if the chess dad has been able to create some more complications. Oh wow, they have spent a lot of time in this position trying to make the best moves. White eventually decided to take the knight first, which, you know, black has to react, their queen is under attack. And after that, just to castle, okay. I mean, I actually did expect the knight take. I thought that was a pretty natural way to go. Clearly not though, since they didn't. There's also this actually. You can kind of force the bishop trade by moving yours over here if you want to. And clearly the other thing for white normally is to be able to push one of their pawns. We push here and break open the middle of the board. get their other knight over here, get their queen over here, start messing with the pawns in front of the king, making it dangerous, you know? Zafir, what are you gonna do? From a black side, I don't really know, to be honest. This knight is stopping you from developing much, so I guess this was the move I was expecting earlier, just kicking the knight from that outpost. You could even use it just to open up the game a bit, because if white takes twice, they just have isolated pawns on the e-file. I think this is really the move I would go for as black here. Anything else? I mean, you can take, but I don't think you want to take. Yo! I don't think I'm going to make it through this game, guys. I think in a while I might have to call it. Just too tired. Yeah, okay, I'm pretty sure f6 is the move here. Pretty sure. On this side, osumarko and ribrubrib. Oh, this is the... Oh, man. Rook d7 was just brutal. Oh, and they just take the knight, so it's the same attack still. And then they take the rook. Crashing, crashing, crashing. So, things really have not gone well for white, unfortunately. They have these extra pawns, but they're down 2 minor pieces, which have now turned into 2 knights. So attacks them both, defends the pawn. Black's now finally fully developed, and they can really just jump their pieces around, just hitting everything. Oh wow, okay, white says, screw it, you want to hit my bishop, I'm gonna get your pawn here, and then I can defend it. But unfortunately, actually, this bishop stops him from being able to kind of force a promotion, which would be really good. So I actually think black can just continue by taking here. I don't think it matters. Because black, well, yeah, white would only unfortunately have the knight to get the promotion through. It doesn't work. If you stop, I take. You can't push your knight through because there's light square bishops there. Very unlucky, because actually that would have been a great way to try and make a save here. If you can get a queen versus these 3 minor pieces, you for sure actually have still a chance. Minor pieces would, you know, there's a lot of them, they can cover a lot of squares, but minor pieces are tricky to manage versus a queen that can just go everywhere across the board, so tricky stuff. Kind of curious to see now if white does take the pawn, if that was kind of the plan for them all along. Or maybe they just missed it. Maybe they just missed it. Oh, no, there we go. They do take the c-pawn. Okay, so this does seem to have been some kind of calculated plan. Unfortunately, not gonna work, but if it did, I would give so much props to white. If they were able to get this promotion to a queen, I would be so impressed. I actually think maybe black should just place their bishop back and just give white the chance to promote here, because that would be so much fun. 2 knights and a bishop versus a queen would be incredibly interesting. Although I realized now actually black would also only have 2 pawns left, so white would have 4 additional pawns. So actually maybe that's just not even close. Maybe that's just a clean win for white in that case. A little bit dangerous maybe. Okay, I think though, unfortunately, black has got their number here, and they are just going to slowly but slowly lose the last little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and check out my teammates' game, which when we left off, yeah, they had played knight d2, which looked like there could be some cool simplifications here, and black did take, and I guess, yeah, this is where we left. So take with the rook, take the pawn, take the pawn, take the pawn. So black wins a pawn. They've got this additional one here, and then they've got this additional one here because white actually originally let one go. But because of this, it is possible for white now to kind of force, you know, they can take and just like get another pawn. That is possible. Although if they need to use their, oh, they can't, yeah, okay. So they can take here and then take with the king. And then they'll just be down one pawn, and it's a double pawn on the f file, I guess. So it's not too bad. But instead they just played bishop e2. Oh, okay. So white is deciding not to even go that far. But they do have a little trap here in place, so if they go here, then obviously that's a nice little diagonal fork between rook and queen. And I think you have to play that anyway, to be honest, because you can't castle. Besides, if you castle next, you're just losing. So you're gonna have to play here before you castle, and then you can. And then black's king can't castle anymore, so white would hope to make something happen from that. Maybe still this queen a5 just later on. Maybe bringing another rook over here first. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna make it. I'm definitely not gonna make it, sorry. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think I'm gonna continue until half past. Just to kind of set a nice number on it, but it looks like I'm not gonna be able to make it tonight. I'm just too sleepy. So all the chill times. Okay. I like the plan. I'm a little bit unsure why white has put themselves in this position to start with though, because I think the game could have been easier for them, but maybe I will learn all about this in the team channel afterwards. So let's go have a look at bufferunderrun versus Ciraid. Okay, here we go. E6, knight up, takes with the bishop, takes the queen off the board, moves up the king, and I think this is where we stopped, where they had to take the queen and then move the king up to defend the knight. Man, actually in this position, isn't this just a great move as well? You're threatening to jump here, which attacks the forked piece and this bishop. If they go here, you can still go because then you can fork. So this actually looks like it would have been a really strong move. Huh. I'm just quickly looking though, there maybe is some better way to do it, but I think this was maybe actually a really good idea for white. Anyway, they played b4 instead. Pushed back. This is, yeah, followed with a. You have to play your own a pawn. Okay, and the queen side is just deteriorating. Bishop up, and this is where we are. Oh my goodness, bufferunderrun has used all their time as well. 32 minutes versus 4. Oh my good. Sure. Interesting times. Yeah, I do think this was actually a good move here. They go here, you take, they have to double their pawns. Otherwise you just fork the king and the bishop. And then you could still play this if you wanted to. You could still play the knight to e4 anyway. You could fianchetto if you wanted to kind of defend a bit on your king side. Interesting stuff. Alright, back to the start of the line. Let's see. Yeah, we're still running the 6 games. Let's see what we've missed. Okay. Yeah, we saw this. We saw the bishop e2, castle, e6. This is where we left off last. White was still trying to figure out what to do. I was wondering if they would just take and let the trade happen, or maybe they would try to avoid it with something like queen b3 and just kind of let the isolated pawn happen. Okay, they took... I also did look at this and here, but I didn't really know if that was worth it. So take the knight off the board. Oh, interesting. Okay, take the knight off the board and attack the the rook instead. And attack the rook again. In this position, I guess if you go here, there's just a very nice fork at the end of the line. So defend with the... Oh man, this is actually a very nice line by white. I'm so impressed. Okay, so they take there, then they hit the rook, they hit it again, blocks with the bishop, Take the people now that the queens aren't going to come off. Take with the rook. Nicely done. I'm very impressed. You still have this move if you want it. Although you do kind of... Well, you could do this and then you could kind of put your bishop in here. And after this happens, you can... I don't know, you want to... You kind of actually want to like get this... Oh man, how do you... You want to get your bishop on this diagonal. Maybe you have to go all the way back around. That's too slow. Maybe it's just not possible. Great moves by white though. I'm so impressed. So I thought they were going to get stuck and just have to trade that off quickly. But I guess not. Indeed not. But now what? Now you've got the bishop tension. Ideally you want to get this on this, but it's too difficult. I would still consider here, even if they take, I don't think it's that big a deal. Maybe it is. Well, if it is, then maybe you need to defend your e-pawn somehow. Just back it up. You can take and trade. Then definitely defending is the best move. And you're playing a CD file versus a DE file. Both have a dark square bishop. Everyone's developing their rooks. Still very equal, I guess. On this side, yeah, I quite like this idea with rook AD1 though. I thought that would have actually turned out to be a good way to get the other rook in and have some pressure on the backwards pawn, but never mind. Okay. Yeah, black keeps trying to kind of go for something a little different, trying to throw white off, I guess. Gets the king out of the way. Yeah, this is a very, very nice threat. Over here, hitting the bishop, hitting the king. You can't take, because they take with their rook. Oh wait, sorry, you wouldn't be able to take because the pawn is fixed. So actually in this case, don't you still have the same attack? You hit with the rook. And after you hit with the rook, you're just coming at that pawn over there. Oh wow. I wonder if the other move was actually better. I mean, they've got a good bit of pressure on this pawn now, but I wonder if there was actually just here threatening the knight, threatening this. It's not actually a big threat, I guess. I like black's play a lot during this game. They've played some really, really good moves, I've felt overall. Very interesting, a little bit unexpected in some cases. Just from the start with this f5, did not see that coming. Very, very nice. Yeah, I feel like there must be something for black at some point here. There's just so much coming onto white's king. And white really doesn't have... Well, I guess that's one option, I guess, just plonking the knight in front of the diagonal. Still thinking they're going to have to get c3 in at some point, just to keep this file from becoming too open. Okay, but it looks like white has been able to at least stall black's immense pressure for now. Maybe it's time to repurpose that queen to do something better than what it's doing now. Or just bring your other rook in and lift up. this to try and trade off the knight. Alright. Oh my goodness, okay, this changed. Yeah, they did play f6. Pretty sure that was the best move. Okay, they dropped the knight back, and then they opened up. Yeah, now obviously you can't because this pawn is not defended anymore. You have to take with your c pawn, so the file is open, and they trade some rooks, and black takes control of it, although white can very easily just, you know, trade off the rooks this way anyway. Okay, and it's incredible symmetry and just beautiful pictures all around the middle of the board. Yep, and white's also just, sure thing man, let's trade off. These positions are so tricky because every now and then you think it's perfectly symmetrical, there's no problems, and you turn out like, oh, okay, never mind, sorry, there was this one thing that's completely different from the other side. I guess in this case it would be this is a dark square bishop versus the knight. Yeah, which would mean this light square bishop is kind of not doing much. That would be the difference, right? Versus the knight being able to what? What could the knight do that's useful? Well, you could follow the other one in and have two knights like this, if that helps. I don't think it does, though. You could move this bishop off and then just take the knight. You just go for immense symmetry by just having them take your knight then, maybe. I mean, I think that this is, while very interesting, kind of going towards a draw in a way, isn't it? Unless there's some difference in these minor pieces that can be exploited. Oh, okay, hang on. Ribrubrib and osumarko has moved along a lot. Okay, we were here last. Kept the rook alive, attacked the pawn, took the pawn, attacked the bishop. Keeps on pushing. I'm loving the fighting spirit from white here. Absolutely fantastic. That unfortunately is no more. I wonder if there was a better move for them over here. Oh, there's every square is just. Maybe they had to just defend the pawn instead. And then here, I don't know. I think a lonely rook against three minors and a rook it's just no way. Okay, I'm just speeding through this because clearly black is crushing and white is just kind of hanging in there. Okay, now the fighting spirit, I think, unfortunately, has just turned into enjoying the last moves because I don't think there's any way for white to really win here. The fact that there's a rook, they can just park the rook over here. They can just trade off everything for everything else and just move the a pawn towards victory. So, good fighting spirit, but unfortunately I think it's over. Alright, back to the teammate game, let's see. Alright, they took the pawn, bishop e2. Okay, bishop e2, f5. Okay, trying to use the double pawns, trying to limit the scope that white has with their pieces. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm guessing that the point of this was they could try open up here as well. What happens? What happens if? So the point of this would be the fork. If you took with your queen, I guess you do the same point, and the queen has to run somewhere. And then you go checking here, and the knight has to jump in, but then you can go again, I guess. Maybe that's why. Okay, queen, king over. No more checks, unfortunately. This a4 check is just completely gone now. No more options available. Okay, and you don't like trade and open up the h file. Queen c1. Or a different angle, pressure on the c pawn, trying to pick up all the pawns. Also, once the knight jumps, there is also this check, which actually would be really good because it will push the king away from its own rook. So you kind of have to take the rook now, I think. I feel like this is a move that has to happen, as is here actually. As is here. There's a few moves that I think black kind of have to make. I don't think the knight should be staying on a5. I don't think the light square bishop should be staying where it is. And I'm not sure how good it is for black to keep the tension with the rooks. I guess it's not the end of the world though, because your king will just go sit in the corner. There's no immediate problem if you don't do that. But if you don't do that, then white also doesn't have to do that, because they can then do stuff like this, and then check there. Dangerinos. Yeah, I think it's a bit of a tricky one. Slight danger, guys, slight danger. Alright, the last one, buffer overrun. Yeah, okay. We did have this, which was pretty good. Bishop e2. Okay. Did he just take with his g-pawn to cover this square? Huh. A little bit surprised. Okay, and now we see the move that I was hoping white would play way earlier already. Knight e2 coming in. Why did he not take with his king? Nothing's hanging. There's no way to check the king. There's no dark square bishop to check the king. He really just wanted to open up the g file and get these pawns. Surprise, surprise. Unexpected for sure. Okay. I think I bit off a bit more than I can chew because I am incredibly tired. So I think it's time for me to go to bed. Oh, there's one more new game that just started. Let's just say hi. Pulsar 2000. I know them. I don't know if we've played. We have played, and I beat them. How do I have all these wins against people that I don't remember playing and everyone's higher rated than me? That's not good. Let's just quickly have a look here. C4, 6. Oh, wow. Okay, interesting time. C4, E4. Takes. Bizarro opening. I'm so unsure what we're seeing here. And they're playing fast. Is this all theory? Wow. Hang on. Okay. I'm gonna stop the stream here because I think I'm reaching my limit of energies, but I'm just so curious if this is a move. The Steiner variation straight with E4, D5, CX, EX, EX, Knight F6, Bishop E5, Knight BD, Knight C3, A6, Queen E. Okay, so Queen E2 was the first move that's not theory. Goodness me, this was all theory up to here. Wow, very, very interesting. Shit. This is actually a game that would have been kind of fun to stick around for. Okay, but I'm going to call it, guys. Thank you very much for everyone who came past. I do not have the energy. My life has taken quite a turn, so I think I need to start covering games a little bit more in my daytime. So I can use this time for sleep, which seems to be very, very important to me nowadays, especially. Anyway, I will be sharing out again. Thanks for everyone who came past to say hi. I really enjoyed the company, and this was... yeah, just there's so much going on actually. We saw some very, very strange games as well. Openings that I've never seen before. And kind of strange kind of continuations that I never thought was possible. So there's a lot going on here that I think kind of reminds me that I should keep on studying chess as well, because I just don't have the knowledge of all of these lines. Okay, hang on, there's also here something quickly. Why did they sack their... Oh, to make it not attack the... Okay, cool. Oh my goodness. Okay, black maybe overplayed their hand here a little bit. I mean, I think that black just overplayed their hand. Am I wrong? I don't see... I mean, it's very interesting attacking line, but I don't see the win for black here. I think they just went from clearly being better to kind of just not. I think they just dropped a piece for nothing. Oh my goodness. Well, that took a turn. Okay, we're still... Okay, and they don't want to... No one wants to commit to taking... Okay, here's... This game's over as well. Yeah, we did think this was going to end, so I will close off. And here in my teammate's game, go Val. I can't stay awake anymore. Alright, enjoy your game, Val. You're in a tough spot, but I hope it goes well. Either way. I mean, you could just trade here. And then hit the queen. Maybe you trade... I mean, maybe you just hit the queen first anyway. Tricky position. Buffer underrun. Oh, hello, things have changed here as well. Okay. So these two pawns versus this one's looking pretty good, although black clearly still has a handle on it. Oh wow, okay, things are picking up, but I think I'm going to end it here. Alright, I'm out again. Thank you again for everyone who came past. I am hanging on by the skin of my teeth here in terms of energy levels. I think it's time for me to take a nap. All the best to all the players, and I hope that all the games finish safely. And thank you very much for playing such interesting openings. There's so many things here that I've never seen before that I can go study a bit as well. Shop, see you guys.